Now at 10 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, an additional charge has been added to a suspect after an arrest Monday afternoon. The Victoria Regional Airport gets good grades from a federal rating of Texas airports. And high winds overnight brought power outages and tree damage to the Crossroads.
And we're getting ready to have some severe weather roll through the Crossroads, folks. There's no way around it. Here you are, and here's the big line of storms from Austin to San Antonio all the way to Laredo. It's marching this way, so it's going to be here probably somewhere between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning. We get prepared for thunder, lightning, possible hail in the area.
And yesterday it was announced that Coach Reeve would leave for Calallen, and today he arrived on campus. Hear from him in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. This is an alert day. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, what is the current ETA right now for these storms?
I want to say between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning. As you can see here, Don, they've had a very rough day in Austin. They've had 1-inch hail. Even larger in some spots. It all depends on where you're standing. The line is growing and it's expanding southward all the way down to Laredo. So that means that's going to sweep across South Texas and across the Crossroads in a couple of hours. So now is the time to get ready if you lift anything valuable outdoors, because we're going to have some strong winds associated with this activity. Now, when does it get here? Well, it all depends on where you're standing. Here's Victoria. Here's Karnes City, here's Gonzales. You can see how the line is really strengthening. And when we see the purple tops, you can pretty well assure there's some hail under there, and that's going to be rolling through our area. There's one bright spot. It's going to be gone by tomorrow morning. It's just going to be a long night. We're going to be watching it for you all night long. We got the crews on overtime, so we'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. High winds caused power outages and traffic light issues all around Victoria this morning. As of 8:30 tonight, there are no AEP Texas power outages in Victoria County. A big tree in the front yard of a Victoria woman's house had major damage in the winds.
Somewhere between 2 and 3, I'm not sure exact what time. And I just heard the big crack. But I didn't go outside because wind that fast would have blown me away.
Tree damage was reported all around Victoria after the heavy winds. Our area had strong winds overnight around 3 a.m. This is at the Landing Apartments in the 1200 block of Millette Drive. That's east of North Navarro and north of Zacklands Parkway. You can see a tree fell over near that building. Here's your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here's the question. Did you receive any wind damage on your property? Yes or no? 29%, which is usually a low number for these polls, but that's kind of high for wind damage, okay? And no, 71% of our voters said that. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. A fatal two-vehicle crash happened early this morning in Point Comfort. The Port Lavaca Wave reported a collision between an 18-wheeler and a white truck outside of Formosa at 3:09 a.m. Crews from the Point Comfort Volunteer Fire Department arrived at the scene and found the driver of the truck dead. The driver of the 18-wheeler exited from his vehicle himself. Fire crews also reported diesel fuel leaking from one of the fuel tanks from the 18-wheeler. The scene was cleared at around 5:50 a.m. A fourth charge was added against an 18-year-old suspect arrested by Victoria police Monday afternoon. Aldrich Littles of Victoria faces 2 drug charges plus deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm, and abandoning or endangering a child with criminal neglect. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $110,000 bond. Authorities identified human remains found in DeWitt County. Skeletal remains were discovered on February 23, 2021, just outside Nordheim. The remains were sent to the Forensic Anthropology Center at Texas State University for identification. They were identified as 48-year-old Maria de Vargas of San Salvador. Now, a forensic report found no signs of foul play. Authorities believe de Vargas was being smuggled from San Salvador to Houston at the time of her death. The DeWitt County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate her death. Steve Greenwell will take on incumbent Micah Harmon in the Lavaca County Sheriff race on May 28th. Greenwell has more than 25 years of law enforcement experience. He served in positions focused on combating drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other crimes. His main focus is border-related crimes and issues in Lavaca County.
So that's going to be my goal early on, is to make solid partnerships with these other agencies so that we can make Lavaca County safer and more prosperous for Lavaca County residents.
Greenwell's not new to the county. He served as Justice of the Peace in Lavaca County before resigning to pursue the sheriff's position. He received 43% in the March race, but he'll have to secure 50% in the runoff on May 28th. Greenwell faces incumbent Sheriff Micah Harmon. Harmon won 33% of the vote in the March primary. A third candidate won 24% of the vote. Early voting starts May 20th. The House is expected to send impeachment articles against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to the Senate next week. This delay comes as Senate Republicans seek more time to develop a strategy to deal with the effort. The House impeached Mayorkas on February 13th by an extremely narrow margin, making him the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in almost 150 years. Republicans want to use Mayorkas' impeachment to spotlight the Biden administration's handling of the southern border. The Democrat-controlled Senate is not expected to convict Mayorkas. A new legal blow for Donald Trump. The former president's lawyers have failed to convince an appeals court judge that the case should be postponed.
For the second time in less than 24 hours, an appeals court rejected a last-ditch attempt by Donald Trump to delay his criminal trial in Manhattan, where the former president is accused of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. Trump denies the claims and has pleaded not guilty to all criminal charges against him. An appeals court denying Trump's request to postpone the trial so that he can challenge a partial gag order imposed by the presiding judge in the case, Juan Merchan. The order prevents Trump from attacking witnesses, jurors, prosecutors, and the families of the judge and Manhattan district attorney. Prosecutors telling the court Trump has had an uncontested history of denigrating remarks and that the office has had to increase security due to Trump's statements. Trump's lawyer arguing the gag order creates, quote, irreparable harm, preventing Trump from responding to attacks. The ruling coming just hours after an appeals court judge shot down the former president's request to delay the trial to move it to a venue outside of Manhattan, where Trump's lawyers had argued potential jurors are biased against him. Jury selection is set to begin Monday, making Trump the first former president to go on criminal trial. Potential jurors will be asked a series of questions.
It's not just the big picture ones, like have you been to a Trump rally? It's what media do you watch? Where do you get your information? There are going to be little subtle questions that are going to be able to tell these lawyers a lot about these prospective jurors. And that's going to be the most critical thing in this case.
Trump does face 3 other criminal trials, but it is yet to be seen whether or not those begin before the November election. The federal classified documents case out of Florida is set for May 20th, but a delay is likely. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
The Victoria Regional Airport gets high marks in a federal review of Texas airports in 2023. The Department of Transportation's Bureau of Transportation Statistics shows that of all 26 Texas airports, Victoria Regional had the highest number of on-time flights at almost 90%. The study shows Victoria Regional had fewer than 13% of flights delayed and less than 1% of arriving flights canceled. That tied for the best in the survey. The Memorial Medical Center Board of Managers in Port Lavaca accepted CEO Roshanda Thomas's letter of resignation. The Port Lavaca Wave reports Aaron Clevenger will be appointed interim CEO. Thomas started work at MMC in 2014 as an assistant administrator before becoming CEO in September 2022. Orders for Boeing planes have bounced back. American Airlines placed an order for 85 737 MAX 10 jets in the first quarter of 2024, but the FAA has not approved that plane to carry passengers yet. Certification for the MAX 10 was halted after a 737 MAX 9 Alaska Airlines flight had a door plug blowout. Meanwhile, Boeing did not receive orders for other versions of the 737 MAX in the first quarter, but it received nearly 30 orders for the 777 plane. Over 200 chemical plants, including those in the states near the Gulf Coast, have to cut toxic emissions to protect residents from cancer risks. You can read the Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Authorities have stopped a potential attack on churches in Idaho. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, the teen accused in the suspected attacks and his charges. Also ahead, a volcano in Italy is putting on a smoky display in the skies.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking the identification of a subject involved in an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On January 29, 2024, a Hispanic female pointed a handgun at another person at the 1400 block of Sam Houston Drive. The female was wearing a dark-colored hoodie jacket, sweatpants, and a t-shirt. If you have any information about the identity of this female, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With Victoria Crime Stoppers, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Arrested an Idaho teenager accused of planning to kill churchgoers in the name of ISIS. FBI authorities arrested this 18-year-old early Saturday as part of a joint terrorism task force investigation. Prosecutors say the arrest happened one day before he planned to attack multiple churches, the timing of which would coincide with the end of Ramadan. Investigators say he planned to use weapons, including knives, firearms, as well as set fires. He faces up to 20 years in federal prison if convicted. Arizona State Supreme Court ruled today that an 1864 near total abortion ban is enforceable. The ruling says a 15-week abortion ban from March 2022 is not legal and cannot go into effect, which means Arizona will now revert back to a near total abortion ban. That Civil War era law made abortion a felony punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison for anyone who performs one or helps a woman get one. While the ruling is now on hold for 14 days, abortion rights advocates say they will fight at the ballot box. Recent studies have shown the link between COVID-19 and heart damage. Other health complications have also been linked to COVID-19 as new data has become widely available.
We've seen lung complications from COVID-19 with severe infections leading to acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS. New research is now linking ARDS to the body's immune system and the heart. A study from the German Heart Center found a higher number of macrophages, immune cells that clear out pathogens, in the hearts of those who had ARDS from COVID-19 compared to those who did not have COVID-19. They found that these macrophages can mount an immune response that can lead to heart damage or heart failure. This suggests that the immune system, rather than the virus itself, can contribute to heart damage. It's important to maintain vigilance with all types of viral infections, as the immune system can send signals in the body that damage organs such as the heart. Protect yourself and others by washing your hands frequently, staying up to date on vaccinations, and avoiding contact with others if you are feeling unwell. With this Medical Minute, I'm Christiane Cordero.
Over in Italy, a volcano is spitting out volcanic vortex rings. The rings are natural, near perfect circles of gas emitted from a volcano under specific conditions. It is a relatively rare phenomenon caused by a constant release of vapors and gases. Experts say they have seen these types of rings before, most recently last December. The rings have led local Italians to rename the volcano Lady of the Rings.
Could be the Lord of the Rings, too. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Folks, it's going to be a long night. Here you are in Victoria and the Crossroads. And look at this nasty-looking storm from Austin all the way through San Antonio, all the way down to Laredo. It's moving eastbound, and the southern tail of it is getting pretty strong. So we're going to be dealing with severe weather overnight. We'll be tracking it for you coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Well, good evening, everybody. A rough night across Texas. While we're sitting here kind of quiet after, of course, the windstorm last night, the big storm in the southern plains is beginning to roll and move. It came out of New Mexico in the panhandle, producing all kinds of strange weather like some snow. And then, of course, in South Texas, we've got our own problems. You can see how the storm basically winds up here, but there's this big bow of thunderstorms around it. That's where all that energy is going and creating severe weather. All of this in yellow is a severe thunderstorm watch. That means that everybody from Austin to Victoria, all the way down to the valley, are going to be looking at heavy stuff. And as we predicted, and frankly, we looked at the computer models and it said the southern end is going to blow up this afternoon. And look at that. It really did. Now, that activity is west of us and it's going to be rolling eastward, so you can pretty much calculate that by 2, 3 in the morning, we're going to be hearing thunder and lightning. There you see the big stuff. Now, when we see the purple tops, that means there's hail under there, and they have had quite a bit of hail reported in the Austin area, just north of San Antonio and Bernie. And now I'm certain that it's happening down here in the ranch country toward Laredo. That stuff is headed in our direction. Will the hail be as large as 1 inch? Hard to say. I'm going to say the following. There will be some hail. I don't think it'll be that large, but it'll be moving through here, fortunately, very rapidly. If you're worried about anything outdoors, now's the time to go take care of it. Here's another view. Here's the I-10 corridor all the way to San Antonio. So if it's just coming into San Antonio, those of you in Karnes City and Gonzales, you're going to be first, then Cuero, and then, of course, in the city by definitely 2, 3 in the morning. This is all going to be overnight, and that's sort of the good news. Here you see the future track. This is what it predicts the line is going to do. And it rolls across South Texas and then it rolls northward. And the good news is that by sunrise, maybe 9 in the morning, it'll all be pretty much gone, winding up. But you can see how severe it's going to be as it turns around into South Texas and then heads north or along the coast. So everybody, including, Corpus Christi, Refugio, all the way up to basically Bay City and then on up into Beaumont, are going to be dealing with this overnight. So again, you're going to be looking at high winds. You're going to hear the thunder and see the lightning. If you're going to be indoors, that's great. If you have anything outdoors that you need to take care of, if you can cover your car, it's just a good insurance policy. Sometimes they put blankets over it. Sometimes they move them and park them somewhere where there's more protected. But by noon tomorrow, all of that's going to be a distant memory, as we're going to have the big northwest winds blowing and replacing all this stuff that's coming through our area. There's Victoria, and there you see it right about there, sort of about even as early as maybe 6 and 7 in the morning, it may be clearing out of the area. All of this stuff that you see here, all these little circles, these are areas where hail was reported. So a bunch of them. In fact, even in Bastrop up there near Austin, they had 1 inch hail, a bunch of them down here through San Antonio, and of course the night is young, as we like to say. While we're under a severe weather outlook for tonight, you can see how we're included here. By tomorrow, it's all going to be over Mississippi, so no major problems as far as we're concerned. So here's your forecast. Tomorrow by 9 a.m., it's gone. And you'll have sunshine the rest of the day with a nice northwest wind, knocking the temperature down just a little bit. In Cuero, you're going to have by 9 o'clock sunshine and clearing conditions. We may be muddy and soaked from the stormy weather, maybe branches down, but at least that'll be out of the area. So after tomorrow morning, it clears up. It's going to be real nice Thursday, Friday. Gulf air rolls back in for Saturday, Sunday, but I don't expect anything else other than a little bit next Tuesday. So that is your 7-day forecast. We're going to be doing hourly reports every hour on top of the hour. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll be here watching it. Don't forget, we have a QR code, and if you have that on your phone, I could be sending you tweets and updates on this whole thing. Right now, we'll toss it over to Zach with sports.
A pair of UHV Jags taking home some honors, and we hear from former Victoria East coach Charlie Reeve coming up in sports. The news of Charlie Reeve heading for Calallen is over 24 hours old, and today around 4:30 p.m., well, he met with the school and some of the athletes. Now, Calallen is excited about their new hire, and they should be. He did great things for Victoria East and his entire career, and he was just here for the one season, and it doesn't sound like saying goodbye was an easy decision for Coach Charlie Reeve, but he is excited about his new journey with the Wildcats.
Today was a bittersweet day because you're telling a group of kids that you've poured a lot into goodbye. But you know, I can't tell you how excited myself and my family are to be here. Calallen, you know, there's a handful of premier programs in the state of Texas, and this is one of those programs that there's a level of excellence across the board in all athletics. That's a special place.
As for Victoria East, well, their search for a new head coach will begin immediately. Speaking of Victoria East, the boys in action tonight against Miller, and well, Gage Goldman gets strike 3 for out number 3, but I think the umps lost count, so Victoria East with a nice 4-out inning as Lucas Rodriguez throws the runner out at second. And in the bottom half of the inning, well, Goldman rips one into the right center field gap. It's going to score 1 run, and it's a stand-up double for Gage Goldman. And the next batter, Joe Soto, he's got 2 runners in scoring position, just does a good job of putting the ball in play, and it's going to skip through the infield, and that's the ball game. The Titans run rule. Miller snapped that small 2-game skid, and the Titans back in action this Saturday in Corpus. UHV athletics getting some national recognition, and we're going to start out in softball, and we're talking about Kinsey Chambers, who has been named the Red River Athletic Conference Player of the Week. In 6 games last week, she hit .729 with a homer and had 11 stolen bases. By the way, she now holds the record for stolen bases in a single season in UHV history. Chamber is honored but excited for what's to come.
I'm incredibly honored. I've only been with this program for 2 years, and the love that I've gotten here is just unexplainable. The love from my coaches, my teammates, the community. We love to be out there. I like being called upon. I think I operate well under pressure, and when my teammates line up great opportunities for me, there's nothing else I can do but just grow off that and do what the team needs me to do. We're starting to show up and be someone that someone has to worry about. I think no one can ever underestimate us, because if they do, we're going to come take games from them. So it's just great to be recognized on the level where I think this team is at. I've just been so proud of this group of girls and everything that we've accomplished together. So many records have been broken this season alone. So I'm so excited to see where we go, honestly.
Congrats to UHV star Kinsey Chambers. As she said, one of many stars for the ladies who have set multiple records. Now on the boys side of things, they currently sit in second place. They look primed to make another run in the conference, and they too had a Red River Athletic Conference Player of the Week, that being Hal Perez, the star catcher, who has done a great job with this pitching staff and behind the plate, tied for 5th in the nation in cutting down runners trying to steal, and he got his bat going offensively last week. And while he's very honored by this selection, Hal Perez only cares about his Jaguars as a team and the commitment to get even better.
It was a team week. Like I like to say, we play as a team. We did everything together, and it just feels good to help my team win another game. Season-wise, it feels good. Like we were watching the other day the records last year at this point and this year, and we feel good. The team looks good. Chemistry is there. Just a few little things that we know we're going to find it when playoff time comes, but it feels good. And I don't know, this team this year, it looks good, and I know we can accomplish something better than last year.
Now, what about that other Victoria team? So the Houston Astros are calling up a familiar face to the majors, and that is former Victoria General Spencer Arrighetti, who used to own the mound at Riverside. He was drafted by Houston in 2021 and has since become their top pitching prospect. Well, he was called up today and is expected to make his major league debut tomorrow night in Kansas City. He also went to Cinco Ranch High School in Katy, Texas. That's it for your sports. Don, back to you.
Thank you, Zach, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, tomorrow is National Hug Your Dog Day. I thought every day was Hug Your Dog Day. Named Jeffrey got trapped for hours on the ledge of a bridge in Kansas City. He was adopted from the Kansas City Pet Project after showing up as a stray and then apparently hopped the fence at his new home. That's when he landed on the bridge. Thankfully, Jeffrey is back on solid ground and being cared for by the Kansas City Pet Project. The organization says he did not receive any injuries from the rescue. He's waiting to be reunited with his owners. This may look like your average 5-year-old boy, but to his family, he is a hero. Last Friday morning, the boy woke up to the smell of smoke in his Michigan home. He then saw flames and called for his mom. His screams came just in time, and his mom was able to get all 7 children outside to safety. His mom says if it was not for him, they likely would not have survived. The Warren Fire Department got the fire under control, but the home is a total loss. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. That young man is a hero. Way to go, young man. All right, we got to talk about some storms.
Sure. The storms are west of us out toward Laredo. They're going to be crossing South Texas, getting here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a nasty line of storms. You're going to, if you have anything outdoors that you need to protect from heavy rain, wind, lightning, and all that stuff, your pets, all that stuff, it's going to be coming in after midnight, so we need to get ready for it now. The good news I have is that by sunrise, it'll be gone, so it's going to be moving through very rapidly, but the chances for hail is significant right now. I hate to say that, but it's significant. So yeah, my car is going to have to wonder how it's going to survive as well. So we'll figure it out tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Mac. And finally tonight, tomorrow is National Hug Your Dog Day. The extra cuddles are beneficial to both of you. Hugging your dog releases a feel-good hormone called oxytocin in both humans and pups, giving you and your canine a little boost as your bond. Other ways to show your love include take your dog on an extra long walk, or to the dog park, or take a trip to the ice cream parlor for a doggy sundae. And I'll add one. Make sure your dog is indoors tonight and overnight in the crossroads, because there could be rain, possibly some hail.
And some dogs don't handle lightning very well, so just consider there's going to be a lot of popping.
And stay tuned right here, Mac. We'll have updates for the next several hours.
Me and the crew, we're staying up late, so if you're worried about it, stay with us. We'll have it every hour on the hour.
All right, thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Join Carolina Astroim, meteorologist Parker Cox. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.